So, for my cultural plunge, I decided to attend a performance art slash modern dance workshop at the Peter Performance Space in Lincoln Heights. I chose this because I've always been pretty afraid of dancing, mainly because I'm just terrible at it. So, I was hoping to be immersed in a culture and activity that I'm completely unfamiliar with and, more importantly, bad at, so I could get a sense of the social insecurity that those outside the EMIC experience. I have next to no knowledge of modern dance or the field of performance art in general. In fact, probably the only performance artist I can name is Yoko Ono. I expected the room to be filled with pretentious hipsters who took themselves way too seriously. I mean, take a second to pause and read the description of this workshop. I literally burst out laughing when I read it, and I knew I had to go. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to film the group experience because some of the dancers were uncomfortable with the idea of filming. But during the break, I took some footage of the exercises we had been doing. To my surprise, I found myself pretty comfortable in the setting. I expected I'd feel like an outsider, but to the workshop leader's credit, she really made me feel pretty included. The 10 participants all introduced themselves at the beginning, which gave me a chance to explain why I was there. Another factor that contributed to the fact that I didn't really feel like an outsider is that everyone, not just me, looked really stupid and silly doing all these activities that I didn't feel like I stood out at all. So here we were supposed to approach an object, fall to the ground gracefully, and then take on the properties of the object. So the insiders seemed to take it very seriously, and although I was fully aware I looked ridiculous, I still followed their lead, and I actually found it strangely meditative. I was really surprised by how much I actually enjoyed it. I really did lose any sense of fear about being out of place. After the event, I spent a little bit of time talking to the instructor and a couple of the attendees. One made a comment that thought what I was doing was great, and they thought it was a really cool sounding assignment. Because of this conversation, I feel like I wasn't really looked down upon for not having any dance or artistic experience. Because the activity involved so much movement, it definitely activated neuromotor skills. Spatial ordering was active as well, as we had to move around the room filled with people and objects without colliding with them, which was actually part of the meditative process, was that it was so focused on not colliding that I didn't really think about too much else. I actually felt like I learned a lot about myself from this assignment. I learned that I'm more comfortable in my own skin than I had thought. Even when confronted with a potentially scary social situation, I found I could perform pretty well. I think I'll be less concerned teaching in areas I'm not culturally familiar with. I've been strongly considering moving out of state after I finish the program, and I kind of feel like now teaching in a rural community or a more conservative, county doesn't really scare me quite as much.